Alright, and I'm just going to show you how to measure things like liquids and fluids. So you would turn on your scale. Now if you notice how I put the cup on and it then measures 95 grams, what you actually want to do is turn this back off, put this cup on first, then press enter, and then that will include the weight of the cup as 0. And then, for example, I'll be having milk. You can then measure the milk exactly in terms of how many grams it is. So for example, today I'll have 180 grams. Alright, so 190, close enough. Now if you notice, I've got grams on here at the moment, but you can switch it to, there we go, mils. And if you put the measurement back on, it's about a couple of grams difference. So measuring grams and then mils is pretty much going to be exactly the same. So instead of having to try and stuff around like I just did, trying to press it and it doesn't change, just use the grams. It's just much easier that way. Now if we add in our protein powder, so this is just for an example of a protein shake, we're actually going to go back to 0 again. So we're going to hold that one down. Every scale might be slightly different. And then we're going to press it on. And then I've got my scoop here ready. And then we'll drop that in. And then it will give you an exact measurement of how many grams it is. Now if you're using a level scoop, it's pretty much going to be almost exactly the same every single time. It's just when you do heap scoopings where it pours over the top, that's when it might differ, and then you might want to track it that way as well. Hey guys, here's another way that you can also measure food or anything that comes inside a vessel. So things like peanut butter, if you have any cold meats, things like sugars. So if you're not eating directly from this and you just want to know how much you're putting into your bowl or your cup, you can just measure straight from the actual jar itself. So what you do is you put on the jar, we turn him on, and that makes it 0. And then you actually then take your serving size. So for example, I'm going to make a coffee. So it's 1, 2 sugars, and then you've just had 11 grams of sugar, and then you would just add that to your MyFitnessPal. So instead of having to put your bowl on and then something that you would put in and then you'd have to take it off and then clean it and so forth and so forth, this is just a much faster way you can do it also. So in just relation to that last video guys, just another example. So if you're going to be having like a spread, like peanut butter, to measure it, you would then put it on, and then once it goes 0, you put in your spoon or your knife, take out the serving size. So that's 1 serving size for me, which is exactly 10 grams.